Hello, everyone. Scott Ashley here with Alabama Bass Nation. Welcome to the video briefing for the fourth and final regular season regional tournament for the Tide Division. Hope everyone's had a great season. Looking forward to wrapping it up here and getting everybody qualified for the state championship. So with that said, we'll jump in. We're going to make it a little shorter and sweeter tonight. Being the last stop, everyone has fished probably at least a couple of tournaments with us already and knows the basic logistics. So I'm just going to hit the high points for Weiss and let everybody get back to their evening. All right. So as always, you see on your screen there the slide for pictures to text to Chris or email to put on our social media. A lot of you take advantage of that, and we see a lot of on the water action out there. So please do so if you'd like to. Remember, Chris's number has changed on here, so if you haven't already, if it's maybe is you missed maybe the last one, this is a new number for Chris, so make sure you capture that. Okay, so going over rules, always remember the check-in rule. I think everybody's got that down pat by now. You must check in with our check-in person. If you can't, for some reason, have to leave early or break down, can't make it in, please call myself, Jeffrey, or Daryl and let us know so we can get you checked out of the tournament. We don't want to have to look for anyone or cause any problems. As always, please make sure at least one member of each team views the video and or looks at the slideshow on Facebook. It will be posted right after this, and I believe it's also the YouTube link is posted and emailed out to the coaches as well, so plenty of opportunities to look at it. Remember, for this year, we're doing the official practice end. It's always been there, but we're going to start enforcing it. It ends at the end of registration, so we make sure we get everybody registered. So official practice ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, April the 29th. All competitors must be off the water by 5 p.m. So make sure you get that. This is the first tournament where that's going to start coming into play with the daylight being later hours. Registration will be at Leesburg Landing. We'll have the bass trailer there in the parking lot. You'll be able to see it and come up as normal to the trailer and register and pick up your flags. Registration will be between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. If you're not able to come on Friday, please text or call myself or Jeffrey. Let us know so that we can pull your boat flags and your registration cards and have them ready for you on Saturday morning, somewhere between 4:45 and 5:15, right? So please make sure and let us know. As always, once you get your registration card and your boat flags, double check us. Make sure we gave you the correct boat number. It matches the registration card number on your boat number on your registration card. The normal rule with the maximum horsepower is 250 horsepower. We all should know that by now. We all should also know that you must have 3 people in the boat, preferably 2 anglers and a boat captain. But if for some reason one angler can't make it, you must have an observer. At Weiss, the blast off will be, there's a big, huge, long floating dock just upriver or to the left side of the boat ramp. If you're standing on the boat ramp looking at the water, can't miss it. You'll see us there. That's where we will blast off. Check-in will also be on that same dock at the end of the day, and we'll cover that again. As you all should know by now, please make sure you have your boat flag zippy tied on your boat where we can see it, right? And all competitors can see it all day long. On your pedestal seat, some people put it on a trolling motor, whatever works for you with your particular setup, just make sure it's visible. Blast off, daylight is getting very early now. I actually fished a tournament yesterday, and I think we started blasting off around between 5:40 and 5:45. So I'm planning on about the same time. So make sure you get there early and get in the water. You know, I won't wait, right? If you're not in the water, Leesburg Landing is a very good ramp, works very well. If you're there, you should be able, in time, you should be able to get in the water in time. But again, I'm planning between 5:40 and 5:45, depending on the conditions. As always, make sure everyone has their life jacket on anytime the combustion engine is running. This includes you, boat captain, okay? boat captains, safe boating all the time, right? Safe distance between the boats. Weiss Lake, the canal is kind of narrow, so be really careful through there. And then also once you run up lake, once you're out of the channel, there's a lot of kind of treacherous areas, so make sure you know where you're running at. First flight's 2 p.m. as normal, and we're still going to continue to do the 10-minute increments. Works out pretty well, probably somewhere between 10 and 12 boats per flight. No wake. Okay. I don't have any particular no wake areas other than stuff that's marked no wake, except for, you see here, I'm asking for courtesy at the boat ramp during weigh-in. You'll understand if you haven't been there before when you get there and see it, where this long floating boat dock is in the canal, right? And while we're weighing in, everybody's going to be tied up to that boat dock going up to weigh in. If you run down through there, it's going to create wake and bounce all those boats off of that dock. So I ask that everyone please be courteous. It's not an official no wake zone now. I think there's some stuff in with the state to try to make it a no wake zone, but I don't think it is yet. So I ask that once weigh-in starts, right, if you're going between the powerhouse lake and the main lake, you know, from about 1:45 till 2 until weigh-in or until your time to come in, please sit down and idle through that area. You wouldn't want your boat bouncing around on the boat dock. And as you come into the boat ramp, please sit down above that before that long floating dock starts so that you don't create a wake and bounce those boats around. Off limits, there's a map for that here in a minute. It's going to be the center of the channel from the downriver side of the boat ramp. So basically below the boat ramp to the upriver side, all the way past that long floating dock. Size limit for Weiss is 12 inches for everything, largemouth, spotted bass. I've got smallmouth on there. I don't think there's any smallmouth in Weiss, but there is, bring it to me. I want to see. Fish will be measured with mouth closed and Tan failed to attempt to measure. We had some questions on this one in the Tiger. Some people ask our bunkmen about that. So it's just what it says, right? We'll do everything we can to measure, make that fish measure. We will fan the tail. The trick to it, the only real trick to it is, guys, the mouth has to be closed, right? If you close the mouth and put it up against the end of your ruler, then we will do anything we can. We'll fan the tail, pinch it, whatever we can do to make it measure. Our official rules say mouth closed, longest straight line, right? If I fan the tail, it's still a straight line, but you got to make sure that mouth is closed. Check-in will be on that same dock that we blast off from, and it's a long dock. So I'll put the check-in people down closest to the boat ramp for those people who maybe unfortunately are not going to weigh in. That way they don't have to go so far on the dock. So if you come in, you got fish, right? Don't stop. If you're coming from upriver, the main lake, don't stop at the end of the dock and tie up. Come idle down to the bottom end of that long floating dock and check in with my check-in person. Then you can pull back up to where there's an empty spot and tie up to the dock. I'm sure everybody knows this by now, but I guarantee you I will have at least one person come to the bump tank without their boat flag. So I will say it anyway. You must check in before you go to weigh in. You must check in even if you have no fish. If you have no fish, you can turn in your boat flag there. If you have fish, keep your boat flag and bring it with you when you bring your fish to the scales. As I said, if you have to leave early, you must call myself, Jeffrey, or Daryl and let us know so that we get you checked out of the tournament. Same thing goes for if you break down and cannot make it in. Once you get settled, if you have an emergency, call 911, whatever, but then please let us know so that we can make sure you're off the water safe. Everyone knows you got to come up and get our official Bass Nation weigh-in bags. And there it is. Must present boat flag at bump station to weigh fish. Okay, as I said, I guarantee you I'll have at least one who does it. Guys are getting really good about this. When you hand your fish to the weighmaster, which is normally John, tell him right then that you want to weigh a big fish. A lot of you tell the bump man that you want to weigh big fish. That's great. The more you tell us, the better. But the key to it is when you hand those fish to John, the weighmaster on stage. Weigh-in will be at Leesburg Landing. As always, we'll make the fish available at the back of the trailer for pictures. And there you have the Remind app. I'm sure everyone signed up for by now. My number and Jeffrey and Daryl, all the critical numbers you need. All right, blast off procedure. I'm not going to go through this. Everybody knows this drill by now. The only thing that I will say is it's at Leesburg Landing, but you can use an alternate ramp if you'd like to do so. I know there's a couple of schools that like to stay up there at what used to be Bay Springs. And, you know, I think a boat slip comes with a cabin rental. That's great, right? No problem with that. You may use an alternate ramp and a boat down to Leesburg Landing. The only thing I would say about that is make sure that you're comfortable with running in the dark, because you know I'm going to start pretty early, as I said, between 5:40 and 5:45. Boat captains' do's and don'ts. You guys surely should know this by now. The one thing I will say is, boat captains, just please don't be standing up in the boat holding a rod and reel. There's no excuse or anything that you can say that's going to make anybody believe that you were not fishing. So just don't do it, please. All right, once you check in, I'm not going to go through this. Everybody knows the drill here. I've got this one set for a waterway in, and with that long dock, we have enough dock space to do a waterway in. However, I'm not going to make it a mandatory waterway in, because that boat, that dock is there in the channel. And if somebody has a brand new boat and don't want to leave it sitting there and getting bounced on the dock, I'm okay if you want to take out. But I would prefer a waterway in. It'll be easier for you. The trailer, as you'll see here in a minute, is going to be right there where the walkway comes up from the dock. It'll be a lot easier on you if you do a waterway in. All right. So traffic flow and parking, pretty simple. Leesburg's pretty self-explanatory. If you've been there or you go practice beforehand, you'll know to catch this road here on your left as you're coming up. The city of Leesburg normally has some help out there, and usually has somebody sitting right here with lights and a sign to direct you into the parking lot. Probably the only two big key points here is, you know, especially early on before the line forms, pull over in these back parking lots and get ready, please, before you get up here in the line. So that way we don't hold things up and we keep everybody moving. This boat ramp works great. I believe we can get about 4 or so down at a time. The way it's laid out, you can have the next one ready. So that's works very good as long as we don't have people holding up the line. The other kind of key point is this first, I'll call it bay of parking areas that I have sectioned off here in red. We will have all of that closed off, okay, because that's where we're going to put the weigh-in trailer. And this is where the spectators will be, okay? So please don't, boat captains, when you pull out, please don't stop and move my cones and parking, okay? Because then when you come in that afternoon, you're going to be able to get out, because there's going to be spectators and tents all around your boat and truck and trailer, and you ain't going to be able to get out until we're all done. So please just stay away from that area. There's more than ample enough parking for everybody with the rest of the parking lot, and over off the parking lot, you'll see on another slide in a minute, the grassy area, there's plenty of extra parking as well. All right, staging and blast off, pretty simple. We're going to blast off going upriver in case there's any current, and plus that's toward the main lake. Everybody stage back down below the boat ramp, preferably on the boat ramp side of the river. We need to leave a lane on the far side for people who want to go down to the powerhouse lake. You'll idle up the dock. We're going to do all the check-ins, life jackets, live wells, etc. Check on the very end of it on the upriver side. Let's see, the one special thing here is for those of you going downriver to the powerhouse lake, especially if you're in the early flights and there's still a bunch of boats staged here, we ask that you would please idle until you get past them. If you were sitting over there in a crowd of boats, you wouldn't want to be playing bumper boats because somebody took off before they got past you. So it's probably the biggest thing on that. And you see where the trailer will be, and this is the walkway from the dock leads right up to behind where the trailer will be. That's why it'll be easier for you to do a waterway. Off limits, And check-in, as I said, off limits is going to be basically from the top side of the big, long floating dock to right below the boat ramp. And then, as I said earlier, this whole area here from, about 145 till we get done weighing in, I put it's courtesy, right? Not a rule, because I can't stand out there and watch it and enforce it. I am going to call the Marine Patrol. Last year they came, or when we had a state championship there, they came on their own and sat there with their lights on to keep people from blowing through there. I'm going to call them and let them know we're going to be there, and hopefully they can come and do the same again to keep people from running through and, in a wake and bouncing the boats against the dock. All right. Let's see. This is just kind of an overview shot. You see where check-in will be down close to the boat ramp, where the trailer and spectators will be, and you can see there's plenty of overflow parking up here on the end of the parking lot. All right. I believe that is most of what I have for tonight. I know what else I forgot. Right now, we got about 170 boats registered in this tournament. Probably about where we end up. We usually pick up a few and drop a few during the week, but I think we're going to be right around 170. So it should be a good tournament. I'll get everybody out early. Fishing's been pretty good in this area. So hopefully everybody will catch a lot of fish and do well and get qualified for the state championship. So with that, I will say good luck, Tiger Anglers, and we look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Thank you.